Wife returns home after affair with my competitor. After glancing around the hallway that led to the bedroom, I sluggishly strode to the front door, not expecting anything good to come of its opening. Nor did I expect anything bad. Nothing noteworthy had happened lately. Finding nothing else to do, I walked over to it and opened it. My surprise was complete. There stood she, or rather, the she I remembered so well. I'm afraid my mouth remained open as she just swept past me into my apartment, the apartment she had left about 3 months ago, leaving me behind as well. I was still stunned as I watched her inspect the slightly altered interior of my apartment with a critical and slightly annoyed expression. I shifted my gaze from her to the dishes on the table, to the hallway, and back to her again. Well, it needs to change, obviously. It's about time I went back and took matters into my own hands again. By the way, close the door, please. What? It was all I could think of to say as I honored her request. Come to think of it, closing the door was actually a good idea, considering the overly nosy neighbors. Emptying my brain, I watched as she looked around, inspecting her former territory in detail. Oh my God, were you the one who picked out those pillows? What? Okay. My answers still weren't overly impressive, but what could she have expected? This whole situation wasn't just surprising, it was bizarre. Did you even bother to clean up while I was gone? I looked around. The apartment wasn't messy, just run down. My luggage is in the car. We can pick it up later. My brain was still barely working, but I managed to notice that she was acting in her usual cocky manner, which didn't seem entirely appropriate given the situation. Your hair, I began. Well, that was a change from what? Yeah, I know. They'll grow back quickly. Her hair had always delighted me to the core. I was a little shocked to see her with a stylish but very short haircut. Sure, she wasn't my woman anymore, but it still hurt to see her without one of her most prominent features. It was just plain wrong. Embarrassing and shameful, that's what it was. This is going to take at least 5 years. At least I was back to full sentences. We still have plenty of time, darling. What? And what did she just call me? Honey? Yeah, I know. You don't have to mention it. I was acting weird for a while, but now I'm back. Everything's going to be okay. She gave me a pleasant smile, like reassuring a child. Really? Was that her form of apology? Yes, baby. To my horror, she moved toward me and seemed to want to kiss me. Who was this woman, and had she completely lost her mind? She must have gotten my expression right because she stopped her advance and looked at me a little surprised. I know. You've always liked my hair, but I felt like I needed a change in my life. Yeah, I noticed that. What? Oh, no, I was just talking about my hair. Other than that, I want my life to be the same. That includes you, of course, just in case you hadn't noticed. She had the nerve to wink at me. So Tom didn't have any effect on your new hairstyle? She wrinkled her nose slightly. Any other person probably wouldn't have noticed it. Tom is forever in the past. Wow, the new love of her life didn't seem to last long. So? What? So Tom had no effect on your new hairstyle? Why do you keep talking about him? He was fired and crossed off the list when Parker's contract disappeared. He's destroyed, he's in the past. He was a mistake and I got rid of him. I nodded. I'd heard about some of his professional failures. Yeah, just like you dumped me. I know, but now I'm back for good. It's going to be so good. I just know it, baby. I shifted my gaze from the hallway to her. So Tom didn't have any effect on your new hair? She looked a little perturbed by my insistence, but probably realized she couldn't avoid answering. Cruel fool or not, she didn't like lying. Perhaps he was in favor of it. So it was his idea? Probably. I don't remember. What does it matter? He tagged you. Maybe for my benefit, maybe not. But he definitely tagged you. Honey, it doesn't matter at all. Her voice was unusually soft. Short hair, friendly voice, almost apologetic, maybe even a little insecure. Standing in front of me was some new version of my ex. She seemed to gather her resolve and suddenly started fiddling with the strapline of her dress. What was she doing? She stopped fiddling with her closet. Obviously, she had gotten an idea and pulled her cell phone out of her purse. She fiddled with it for a while, and then my crafty speakers bent to her will, turning on one of her playlists. Of course, she still had full access to everything since she'd been living here for years, and I was too numb to change passwords. I guess I was still in a daze. I observed her strange behavior without commenting on it in any way. Turning on the background music, she started dancing. Well, if you can call what she was doing dancing, she had never liked dancing and avoided it whenever possible. That she attempted it here spoke volumes about her determination to get her way. To my utter amazement, I realized that her strange movements could only be construed as an attempt to perform some sort of dance. Really? This woman had always been a bit reserved and refused to openly display her sexuality. She hated any display of sexual behavior, which she had always considered vile. Added to that was her complete inability to move properly to any kind of music. The fact that she was going to undress for me said a lot about the desperation she clearly felt, but didn't want to talk about it, and which for some reason led to no apology whatsoever. The dance itself was moderately entertaining. I've always appreciated her sharp wit, humor, and personality. Her body was not designed to be the centerpiece, and I never needed it to be. The problem was that her body was completely unsuitable for dancing. She was a bit broad and muscular, completely lacking in grace. Her movements were jerky and awkward. The whole thing was awkward, and I had to try hard not to offend her by laughing. Of course, I would have been perfectly within my rights to hurt her after what she had done to me, but that sort of thing was beyond me. It was a difficult situation for both of us, and I tried to make it at least a little easier by at least outwardly taking an interest in what she was doing. Her actions had no effect on the distribution of blood in my lower body. My interest increased when she bared one of her small breasts, smiling slyly at me. I saw that there was something glistening there, and I moved closer to her to get a better look. Holy smokes! Her breasts were pierced. How did that asshole manage to get her to do that? She'd always prided herself on being an independent woman. She would have cut off my jugular just for suggesting something as vile as that. Fortunately, I was never in any real danger, as I didn't like piercings. They often just looked cheap and somehow stained a woman's breasts, like this one, for example. "Do you like it?" she asked, smiling tokenistically. "Let me guess, his proposal again?" "Come on, why does it matter?" She tried to pout, but she was so unaccustomed to it that she failed. Her evasive answer told me I'd hit the mark. "Just wanted to know. Don't get in my way." She tried unsuccessfully to smile seductively and continued with her strange and almost pathetic way of getting rid of her clothes. As her unusually panties came into view, something strange caught my attention. It looked like some kind of stain on her skin. I moved even closer to her, examining the stain with a strangely detached interest. It looked like a letter peeking out from under her underwear. Yes, it was the letter M. That's weird. And then it hit me. It was the end of the Tom tattoo. He made her tattoo his name on her body? Unbelievable. This guy was out of my league to get what he wanted from her. "Let me guess. He's the one who dumped you, right?" Okay, I know. I had completely ruined the last remnants of any romantic mood that might have been present. But I still wasn't in that mood, and somehow I doubted she was either. Her reaction was a complete surprise. "What?" It was nice not to be the only one in this conversation to say that. "Think about it. He seduced you and took you away from me. He convinced you to coldly abandon me and insult me in front of him. He made you cut your hair short because he knew I liked it. He gave you piercings. He tattooed his name on your body. Then he dumped you and sent you back to me. Maybe it wasn't about you at all. I think he just wanted to beat me. If I take you back, I'll remember what he did for a long time, maybe forever. Tom and I have hated each other since elementary school. The best outcome for him would be for me to take you back and remember constantly that he was able to take and brand my woman forever. Honey? To my amazement, she was close to tears. Surprisingly, I've rarely seen her very emotional. I don't think I had ever seen her cry before. Addresses like honey were also unheard of until today. Why didn't you even bother to remove that tattoo before you came back? Now she actually looked remorseful, which was also quite unusual. I thought about it. The problem was the color. He chose it himself, and it turned out to be quite difficult to remove, and I'm afraid it will leave scars. Hadn't she thought about how the sight of that tattoo would affect my sexuality? Are you pregnant? Shocked. She was in complete and utter shock. Then the tears started. How did you know? I didn't know. I just thought about what else he could do to us. The ultimate defeat would be to make me raise his child. So let me guess. After you confirmed you were pregnant, he dumped you right away? She only nodded, continuing to sob. God, I wish I'd given up that promotion and let him have it. He wouldn't have had to use you for his revenge. You might not have cheated on me. You might not have left me for him. On the other hand, if he was able to get you away from me so easily, then there wasn't that much love between us anyway, right? It was the harsh truth. We never had the kind of blazing love you read about, but we really liked each other and we loved living together. We were like super best friends with benefits. Tom was an exceptionally handsome man, but I believed that if we really loved each other, he could never seduce her. Yeah, I don't know, she managed to mumble between sobs. But I do know that I really want to go back to the way things used to be. I really do. Please. Well, I think you can easily remove that piercing. She nodded almost forcibly. And I think your hair will grow back eventually. Again, the nod. And the tattoo could probably be removed with a laser. She even started to smile as she continued nodding. The baby is a problem. It should be your solution. I'll find a solution. Her mood had completely changed. She was almost euphoric now. I will not interfere with that decision, so I think all his marks on your body can be removed. Yes, you can and you should. The problem is the marks in my mind. What? You coldly abandoned me for him. You let him do things to you that you always denied me. I always wanted to have children, but you told me you weren't ready. For him, you didn't hesitate. If I'd asked you to change your body like a star, I'd have turned painfully and instantly into a soprano. You didn't hesitate for him, and I didn't even ask what you were doing for him in the bedroom. Oh, right. Oh, I think he did us a favor. What? He cruelly demonstrated how weak our relationship was. He showed us how much stronger your feelings were for him than for me. He showed us that we just kept living the way we were living because we were used to it, too afraid or comfortable to change anything. And let's be honest, if our old relationship was so weak, what chance does the new one have? Well, I guess. She looked sad, but calm and resigned to her fate. Meanwhile, she had started to get dressed again, and I was glad for it. It made the situation less awkward. Talking about something serious with someone with no clothes on was somehow wrong. I'm sorry. There, I said it. The magic C word I hadn't heard from her once since she'd left me. Strangely and tellingly, I was the one who said it, even though I was the injured party. I suddenly realized that she was simply too weak to say she was sorry, just as she was too weak to confront him, and too weak to save us. It didn't matter. We were better off without each other. Thank you. I said again what she had to say, and I really meant it. With today's visit, she finally got rid of the ballast of our previous relationship that I was still carrying around. No, darling. I should thank you for listening to me, for giving me the wonderful years we had. I'm so sorry. Ironically, the last word she said to me was the one I had waited so long to hear. With those words, she gave me a peck on the cheek, which surprisingly didn't move me, and headed for the door to leave my apartment and my life. It felt good. "Honey, what's that noise?" a sleepy, long-haired beauty inquired, coming out of the bedroom. "Nothing. Just someone I once knew, my love," I replied before the door closed. I didn't realize my ex would see this before she left my life forever. I had always stuck to the rule of not kicking someone who was already on the floor. "Do you think we can visit my parents this weekend?" she asked. "I'd really like you to meet them." Yes, of course. I'd love to meet them." The thought made me very happy. I set my coffee cup down on Parker's folded and heavily soiled contract and followed the captivating sweep of that long mane into the bedroom to start the morning properly. The end! Subscribe to my channel. Thank you.